the same time which can be very tough. The topic is time and work. Now when we look at time and work questions, and the questions based on types and system, there is one common thing we understand. This whole topic revolves around two concepts. One, a concept of one-day work, where we apply unitary method also, and two, concept of total work. So we will talk about both the approaches to discuss the questions. In a simplest form, the question that can be given to us is, let's say A can do a piece of work in 10 days. The same work B can do in, let's say, 15 days. So the question will say, how long will they take to do the work working together? To answer this question, we can apply different approaches. The first approach says, if A can do a piece of work in 10 days, then his one-day work will be equal to 1 upon 10. Similarly, one-day work of B will be 1 upon 15. Now, if I club their both the work of both the persons of one day, what we find out that together A plus B in one day can do 1 upon 10 plus 1 upon 15. If I take LCM as 30, but I would prefer not to take 30 because maybe sometime we can use some shortcuts at a later stage. I'll take LCM as 10 into 15. This will be 15 and this will be 10. On solving, we will get 25 upon 150, or we will say 1 upon 6 work. So the approach here will say, to do 1 upon 6 work, it requires 1 day by A and B together. Therefore, to do one work will require 6 days. We will simply reverse this square. Now, why did I not take LCM as 30? Because of one simple reason. If I want to develop a shortcut for this question, the method will be, see, A can do a piece of work in 10 days, A can do a piece of work in 15 days. Together they do it in 1 upon 10 plus 1 upon 15 is the one-day work. And we took the LCM, and whatever answer came here, we reversed it. So the shortcut here would be that this value should be reversed. It means the time taken by A and B together to do the work will be equal to 10 multiplied by 15 upon 10 plus 15. So we can say, if suppose this simple question comes again, the answer will be time taken by A plus B to do a piece of work together is equal to time taken by A alone to do the work multiplied by time taken by B upon time taken by A plus time taken by B. So this is just one approach we are talking about. Because see, there are different methods of solving a question. The one approach we discussed is that 1 upon 1 day work, another using a formula, but this formula is applicable only when there are two members. What if there are more than two members? Then probably we have to rely either on the first method or one more method which we are discussing right now. Now this new method says, let me assume a work. Because A can do this piece of work in 10 days and B can do the same piece of work in 15 days, I assumed a work is equal to 30 units. Now, why 30? Again, important thing in this exam is that you should take a value where you do not get fractions where the things are easily divisible. Now 30 is a number which is not only divisible by 10 but also is divisible by 15. In fact, it is the LCM of A and B's value. So when I say A can do 30 units in 10 days, in one day A will do 3 units, that is 30 upon 10. B will do 30 upon 15, that is 2 units. So together they complete 5 units in one day. So 5 units are done by both the persons in one day. Therefore 30 units will be done in 30 upon 5, that will be 6 days. Now which method to be applied, it depends entirely upon the type of question asked and the comfort level we have with the methods. But this is one method which can be applied in different situations also. So in this particular case, what we found that A can do a piece of work in 10 days was given to us. B can do the same piece of work in 15 days given to us, and we were asked to find out the total time taken by them together to do the work. What if the question is like this? A can do a piece of work in 10 days that A plus B together can do in 6 days. So how long will B take alone to do the work? Now if the question is like this, can we apply all the three methods that we have learned so far? Let me assume the time taken by B to do the work is X days. So 1 day work of A will be 1 by 10, 1 day work of B will be 1 by X, and their combined 1 day work will be equal to 1 by 6. When we solve this equation, we will get the value for X. So we will say 1 upon X is equal to 1 upon 6 minus 1 upon 10. 30 is the LCM. 6 5 is 30. 5 minus 3. 2 by 30 is equal to 1 by X. So 1 by X is equal to 1 by 15. Therefore, X equals to 15 days. So the first method we got asked. Okay. What if I apply another method? Second method says A can do a piece of work in 10 days. Together they do it in 6 days. How long will B take alone to do the work? So the formula says the total time taken by them together is equal to time taken by A into time taken by B upon time taken by A plus B. So that will give me 60 plus 6x equals to 10x. 4x equals to 60. X equals to 50. Method number 3. Let me assume a work. Again the work will be LCM of the value 10 and 6, which is nothing but what? 30 units. So A can do 30 units in 10 days. Therefore, A's 1 day work will be 30 upon 10, 3 units. Together their 1 day work will be 30 upon 6, that is 5 units. Therefore, we can find out that 1 day work of B is nothing but 5 minus 3, that is 2 units. So 2 units is done by B in 1 day, therefore 30 units will be done by him in 15 days. So this is one simple concept which we can apply not only to this situation but many more situations where the questions are coming up with certain conditions. For example, A can do a piece of work in, let us say, 10 days. B can do the same piece of work in, let's say, 20 days. They both started working together on a project. After 3 days, A left. Now the remaining work was done by B alone. Well, let us say after 2 days A left. So remaining work was done by B alone. The question is how long it took to complete the work by both of them. Okay, that means I am looking for the value from here to here. So approach will say, one approach says, let me say the number of days for which X work alone is X. Therefore we can say the work done by A in 1 day is 1 by 10. So work done by A in 2 days will be 2 by 10. Work done by B in 1 day is 1 by 20. So work done by B in 2 days is, let's say, 2 by 20. And in X day, X by 20. So rather than writing this value 2 by 20 and X by 20, we would like to say that since B worked for X plus 2 days, therefore the total amount of work done by B will be what? X plus 2 by 20, and together they did one work. On solving this equation, we will get 4 plus X plus 2 is equal to 1. So 6 plus X is equal to 20 is equal to, so X is equal to 14 days. Therefore, we can say the total number of days required to complete the work is equal to 14 plus 2, 16. So one question can be done by using the fractional approach, 1 day work of A plus 1 day work of B. What the second approach says? Let me assume again a work. How will we deal with this question? Let me assume that the total work is equal to 20 units. Total work is equal to 20 units. 1 day work of A is equal to 20 by 10, that is 2 units. 1 day work of B, 20 by 20, that is 1 unit. First 2 days they work together. Okay. So 1 day work of A is 2, 1 day work of B is 1. Their combined 1 day work is 2 plus 1. That is 3 units they do in 1 day. Therefore, in 2 days they will be able to do 6 units. Now the total work is 20 units. 6 units have already been done. So remaining 14 units will be done by whom? B alone. B can contribute 1 unit in 1 day. So to work 14 units, he requires how many days? 14 days. Therefore, we can say the total work will be done in 14 plus 2, 16 days. B work alone for 14 days. So this is just one approach, where we can apply certain conditions and constants, and then we can try to solve this question. In another variation of time work, we need to learn the basics of unitary method.
Hi guys, in this video I'm going to define the scope of time speed. Time speed is one of the most important concepts for the exams, and unfortunately it's very confusing. There are times when people get confused in the topic. So I want you to work on this topic seriously, because this will be there for in their exam. Importance wise, in CAT there will be 1 to 2 questions which are based on time speed. In CMAT there will be another 2 to 3 questions, and NMAT 2 questions, CMAT 2 questions. This exam, this topic is going to be there in almost every exam. So that is your must do topic. Now talk about the scope now. What is the scope of these topics? So there are 7 things you need to cover in this topic. One is a basic question on time speed, average speed, relative speed, boats, trains, linear and circular. So these are the 7 concepts which I wanted to work on. If you have done even 10 to 20 questions per topic, this is more than sufficient to get yourself a decent score in the exam. So that's your scope for the exam. So what I want you to divide your preparation to 3-4 days. So day 1, just do the solved examples. Open up your books, find the solved examples. Day 2, try to do around 30 questions of time speed distance. Maybe divide them into all these concepts: the races question on trains, question on boats. Fine. Third day, pick up CAT questions, question of the level of CAT or CMAT, and try to practice those questions. So 30 questions here, 30 questions here. So probably after 60 questions, you will get some confidence in the topic. So practice some questions at home so that you become more and more comfortable. Alright, now let's talk about other things. Talk about the shortcuts for time speed now, because if you are attending my lectures, I don't teach any formulas and all. I normally teach the concepts. Yeah, because knowing the concepts is more important than knowing the formula. Because I know there are a lot of other faculty who teach you shortcuts and all, but the problem with the shortcut is only valid on a particular type of question. The moment I change the question, the moment I change the values, the moment I change something in the question, your formulas or shortcuts go for the toss. So that's why I recommend the common sense way of thinking. To be very frank, I don't have any shortcuts. All I have is common sense. Fine. So that's exactly what I'm going to work on now. I'm going to teach you now. So let's start with the trains ka concept. Now there are 4 kind of questions in train. One, the train is moving and there is a stationary man or a pole standing there. How much time the train will take to cross the man. Second concept is train crossing the bridge, train crossing the running man, and train crossing another train. So these are the 4 questions. There will be 1 question based out of these 4 in all the non-CAT exams. This question, to be very frank, is not important for CAT. Yeah. I want to talk about this question. So please pause the video and try to do this question yourself. A man standing on the railway bridge, which is 180 meter long. He finds the train crosses the bridge in 20 seconds and crosses himself in 8 seconds. How much time it will take to? So what is the length of the train? What is the speed of the train? So these are the 2 questions you have to solve. Fine. Now, if you try to solve this question, before I jump to this question, let me talk about the concept of man days of your man and train. So let's assume this is our train. Fine, I love to draw, so I am good at drawing. So alright, so how much time will it take to cross a man? Suppose the length of the train is 200 meter and it crosses the train in 8 seconds. So how much will be the speed of the train? 200 meter by 8. Yep, any doubt in this? Not 25 answer? Now in this case we are given two things. There is a man and a bridge. So we have to consider the length of the train as d and total length of the bridge total is 180. Train takes 20 seconds to cross this. That's the speed of train. In another case, there only the train takes 8 seconds to cross the man. So if I equate two things, I'll get my answer. Alright, let me do this question again. What I'm trying to say here is that can I say speed of the train in the first case is equal to speed of the train in second case? In first case means the train plus the total bridge is overtaken in 20 seconds. The man itself is overtaken in 8 seconds. So d by 80 I'll cross multiply and I can solve. That is the normal way of doing this question. So let me just take this thing, the calculation part on the side, so that we can talk about the other things. Alright, so if I try to use my shortcut here, what I'm trying to do here now is, let's see. Now train total time taken for the bridge and the man is 20 seconds. So out of this total 20 seconds, can I say 12 seconds is for the bridge and 8 seconds for the man? Alright, total time taken was 20 seconds to cross the railway, the train and the bridge. Yeah, this part d plus 180. Yeah, this part. So what I'm doing now is I am breaking them into two parts. That total out of 20 meter, 8 meter is overtaken the man. The remaining 12 meter is the time taken to overtake the bridge, sorry. Yep. So this means if I divide my distance of the bridge divide by this thing, I'll get my answer. Right? Yep. So if I divide these two things, I'll get my answer 15. So answer is 15. Second question is find the length of the train. 15 seconds is taking to overtake the bridge. Sorry, 15 is the speed of the train. Fine. Now second part is, so we got the speed of the train 15. Second part is find the length of the train. Length of the train I'll get by what? By considering this thing, it takes 8 seconds to cross the man. So distance is what? Speed into time. 8 into 15. 120. B Bombay. Fine. So answer is B Bombay. So what I've done is, I've basically, rather than using my formulas, I'm using common sense. Total distance, total time taken was 20, which was to overtake the bridge and the man. So man taken is 8 minutes, so bridge have to be 12 minutes. 180 meter is done in 12 seconds. So speed will be 180 by 12, which is 15 meter per second. Once I got a speed, length I'll get from here. 8 seconds to cross the complete train, for the train to overtake the man. So 8 into 15, 120. That's it. So this is the way I want you to learn. Fine, if you can't join my workshops or classroom coaching or online coaching, you can try these things at home. Alright, try to understand everything. A beat B by 20 meter in a 100 meter race. How much will A beat? Fine, so A beat by 20 seconds. So this is a race concept. Very, very confusing concept. Either A beats B by 20 meter, or A gives B at 20 meter head. Both of them are basically same thing. So A beats B by 20 minutes. This means when A reaches end, B is 20 minutes behind, 20 meter behind. Alright, if you understand this concept, try to solve this question. Yeah, first question is fairly simple, so I want you to do that later on. That's quite simple question. I will give you the answer for that. Answer is B Bombay. Yeah, so try this question. It's a fairly simple question. Let's pick up this question. A beats B by 20 meters in a 100 meter race. B beats C by 20 minutes in a 100 meter race. How much will A beat C by? Fine. A beat B by 20, B beat B by 20. So अंदर से एक आवाज आएगा. You will get a feeling from inside that answer should be 40. But wrong. Answer is not 40. Why? Because A beat B. When A is 100, B is 80. When B is 100, C is 80. But when B is 80, C will be a little bit less behind. That's exactly what we have to find here. Fine. So I can use my normal formulas to find this question, to solve this question. This is a normal way to solve the question, which you can try later on. Fine. So I don't want you to see any of these kind of things. So let's try to use common sense. Can I say A beat by B by 20 meter? This means A is B is 20% less than A. So if A was 100, B is 20% less, means 0.8 of A, 80. Yeah. So if A is 80% of A, B is 80% of A. Similarly, C is 80% of A of B. Further 0.8, 64. So when A is 100, B is 80 from here, and C is what? 64. If the distance covered is 64, how much is remaining? 36. What I'm doing is I'm converting this question into question of percentages. Yeah, this is exactly the way I want you to try the question at home. Fine. So please open up your books and try to understand everything. Trust me, time is only one formula. Distance is equal to speed into time. Nothing else. I'm not going to use any other formula. Fine. I know there are people who innovate new formulas and everything, but they are not valid across the board. Fine. But this one formula is the only formula which I'm going to use to solve every question of time speed. Distance can be the question based on trains, can be the question based on your speed, races, anything is basically the same concept. Alright, all the best. Thank you. So if you are going to join our workshop, I'm going to pick up all the questions which are based on time, speed, distance. Can be of the question on races, can be on the question which are based on trains, based on your other things. Fine. So all these things I'm going to cover with shortcuts. So this is just one sample to just get you going. Fine. So try to show you that this is the way you can do yourself. Alright. Thank you.